Hello guys, hi. Welcome to the 14th session on shell scripting, exclusively for DBAs. And this session will be the last session for this course completely. So what is that we are going to gain in this session is to actually learn about developing the rest of the three tools that we have decided or we have actually put down in the curriculum. That is backups tool, and then we are also going to see user creation tool and also refresh tool. These are the three tools that we are yet to develop. In the last session, we have successfully seen step by step how do we basically approach, how do we test, and how do we make sure the script execution works fine. So as I told you, divide the script into parts. Make sure that you follow whatever strategy you actually write down. And first, you have to decide what is that your tool has to perform, whether it is completely at the background or user intervention is required or something like that. So basically all the four tools that we have developed in this course, all those tools are interactive tools, not the tools which are running in the background or not the scripts that runs in the background or scheduled in the cron tab. So you can also schedule cron tabs, tools with cron tab as well as user interaction as well. But how is it possible is what we will be dealing it later anyway. That will come up. Dealing later in the sense it will come up to you once you are very much familiar with all these concepts and also how do we develop tools like this. Then definitely, if you have some requirement in your mind, converting that requirement into one good script, working functionality script, will not take a very big time for you once you have a very good hands-on on the tools that we have discussed so far. So without wasting enough time, what we are going to do in this session is, because we are actually about to complete three tools development. I have developed all those three tools as said in the last session, but we are also going to develop them step by step, but not writing out the complete functions. What I'll be doing is I'll be starting up the tools and I'll be opening up the script, and then I will be basically copy pasting each and every part of the script and then explaining you what does this particular function do. So that will basically help us saving time, isn't it? Because in the last session we have spent completely good enough time to actually understand the process of writing the script, how do we approach, how do we test, etc, etc. Now I have done all the testing and all at the background, not wasting your time in this session, but I will be again following the same step-by-step procedure of developing these three tools and testing them. So the first of all, for the backups tool, before we start, what I wanted this tool to perform is it should be able to list down all the backups taken on that particular database at the moment and whatever are available on the disk. And then it should be able to take full database backup whenever I wanted. It is level 0 backup. And it should also be able to take incremental backup. That means when I say incremental backup, it should be able to ask me whether I wanted cumulative incremental backup or differential incremental backup. And then I should be able to take archive log backups, and after that it should be able to clean the obsolete backups. That means the backups which are falling beyond the retention period, whatever retention policy that you have by default, in case if you have them and if you wanted to clean them manually, my tool should be able to perform. So at a higher end, this is what my tool has to perform. That's what my backup tool is. But now, for each and every requirement, I have to write my logical flow, isn't it? So I have written my logical flow here. So we have to first ask to which database it has to connect, set the environment variables, connect to the RMN of that particular database, and then show the summary of all the backups which are available in that RMN. For the second requirement, I should ask the environment variables, set them, and connect to the RMN and take the full database backup. Similarly, take the incremental backup. Similarly, show the archive logs which are existing on the disk, and then you can actually take the archive logs backup and then delete them also. And then clean obsolete backups. Definitely, if you wanted to actually clean the backups directly which are falling beyond the retention period, I will be using no prompt obsolete, so that means it will be deleting without asking your confirmation. So this is what we are going to do now. So these are the 5 things that my tool has to do. So let me connect to my environment, and before I start developing this tool, I have to first of all bring up the databases on this server. So instead of bringing up all the databases on the server, I'll be bringing up only one of the databases which I'll be using. So it would be Aura CDB2 as an example. Now I would say SQL plus /SSDBA and then I would start this database, and then we will start writing the script for this backup tool. So let me wait until the startup is completed, and then we will continue from there. So as you see on the screen, the database is open now. So let me step out of this, and I'm not starting the listener, but in case if you wanted, you can just say listener.ctl start. That should not be a problem for me. And now let me go to my scripting directory, and now I will write backups .sh. This is the script that I'm writing. Oh, because it is already existing, what I would do is vi rmin.sh. Okay, this is a new file that I'm writing. So I first of all, what is that I have to do? I have to tell what shell it has to go and run. So it should be in the bash shell. Now I'm dividing some area for trapping control plus C, and the command is trap this one. So that means I do not do anything when somebody says control C. Alright, and now variable declaration, I will leave some space at the moment. If I have any variables to be declared, I will declare at this place. And then function declaration is everything is here. That means whatever functions I declare, that should be in this particular command, so that it will be easy for. So script execution, so I would say script execution begins from here, and then the first thing that I should say is main menu. So now I have to write a main menu for this particular 5 different activities, right? So let me show you. So these are the 5 different things that main menu should actually have. So that's the reason I have written the script like this, as you see. So this is the main menu that I have written. So as I said, I have already written all of them offline, so that's I will be just copying them and then pasting them. So just copy it and then paste it off. Alright, so coming back to this, let me explain you what is that it is doing. It is very simple. It is drawing the menu for you. That's it. First menu option is list backups, second menu option is full backup, third menu is incremental backup, fourth menu is archive log backup, fifth menu is clean backup, and sixth menu is quit. That's it. So it will be based on, if you say list backup, it will go and execute this function. If you say full backup, it will go and execute this function, something like that. So, and if you say incremental backup, this function it will execute. And if you say archive log backup, this function it will execute. If you say clean backups, this function it will execute. If you say quit, nothing it will do, it will directly exit. Now I should start writing my script with this function, isn't it? So let me write first the function name called list_backup. So let me do that from here. So the first function, where is it? Okay, it will be on the top. Yeah, so where is it? List_backup. So this is the function that I have to write. So what is that I'm writing in this function? Just make a look and then you will understand it better. So in this function, I'm clearly calling 2 other functions. One, listDB, to list out the databases available on the server, and the next is to set the environment variables on that particular server. That means I have to create those 2 functions before this function, right? So I have that one also in place, so I would be just copy pasting these 2 things. Alright, right. So this function will basically list out all the databases available, and this function will basically set the environment variables according to your selection. And after that, I'm again calling the second function, that is backup summary. That means this is the one that will go and in turn run an rmin command and show you the result. So that means I have to now go onto the top again and I have to create this function, right? So let me show you. Yeah, this is the function that I have to create. So I'm copy pasting it and I am running it. Now see here, what is that I have used? I'm creating a temporary log file in /tmp where it will say connect target / and then it would just fire list backup summary and then it will exit. And after creating this particular file, now I am running this file in rmin. That means I am redirecting the input. So whenever you connect to rmin, inside the rmin block, just go and blindly run the script, whatever is there in this log file, and after running this script, go and remove that log file because it is temporary. So that's the reason it is done. So coming back to the main function, so what is that I am completing? So first thing is listing the backup is completed. Alright. Now full backup. So that means I have to now go and create another function with the name full backup, right? So now let me create it. So this is where it is. So this is a full backup. So let me copy paste now, and again in the full backup, as you see on the screen, it will be listing out the databases. So this particular way, function is available, and also setting up the environment variables is available. But the another function which is not available is full DB backup. So I have to now go and create full DB backup, in which I should say what exactly it has to perform in the rmin, right? So that's what I have given even here. So let me show you. So this is what full DB backup does. So in this function, as you clearly see again, I'm creating a temporary log file where I write my rmin script, where I'm saying backup as compressed backup set incremental level 0 database, and then I'm passing it as an input to this rmin command. So it is going and executing it. Fine. So now I have completed the job of running full database backup. So what is the third option? Incremental backups. So that is incr underscore backup, right? So now I have to create another function called incr backup. So now let me copy paste that. So where is it? Yes, yeah, this is the one. So function incremental backup. So it ends here. So as you see here, let me paste it here. So this is again listing out the databases, asking you to which database you wanted to go and take the incremental backup. But as you observe very carefully, after setting up the environment variables, it is again asking you whether you wanted to take a cumulative incremental backup or differential incremental backup. So it is passing you whatever options you select, whether it is cumulative incremental or differential incremental, it is passing that value into the another function called incremental DB backup. So now I have to create incremental DB backup, and it should be able to perform based on whether the input is cumulative or differential, right? So that's the reason I have written that part of the script like this. See. So if you see here, so where is it? Copy it, and now after copying it, I'll tell you how is it working. So as you see on the screen, whatever is passed into this function when it is called, if the first argument is cumulative incremental, then the backup command that you have to run is backup as compressed backup set incremental level 1 cumulative database. So this is the syntax, right? But if the first argument which is passed when calling this function is not cumulative incremental, you have to go and just fire backup as compressed backup set incremental level 1 database. This is the syntax for differential incremental backup, right? So I'm just passing this as a variable value, and this variable value is given into the script. So this is a script which will only have either this one or either this one based on the input that is received by this particular function. And then again I'm running this particular file and then removing it after running it successfully. So I have completed now the third option also. What is the fourth option now? Archive backup. So I have to create the function called arc_bkp. So now let me show you where is arc_bkp. This is the one. So what does this do? Arc_bkp should be able to set the environment variables first, connect to rmin, and then it should be able to clear the archive log file. So it is listing out the databases, it is asking, it will be setting the environment variables, then it will be going and releasing the archive log file. So I have to create a function with the name arc_rmin_backup. So that is what the function I have here. So this function will again write an rmin script which will cross check all the archive logs on the disk. That means it is showing you what are the list of archive logs available, and then it is backing up all the archive log files and deleting them after the successful backup. That's it. Now what is the fifth option that we have? So let me come back here and show you. The fifth option that we have is to clean the backup. So that means cleaning the obsolete backup. So it's time for me to create a function that will clean the obsolete backups, right? So let me come back here and then say clean backup. So this is the one. So again, to clean up the backups, you have to set the environment variables, everything, and then as you see on the screen, it will in turn go and call another function called clean OBS. So now this is the function that will define what it has to actually perform inside the rmin. So now if you see here, clean OBS is the one that is again writing a script saying that delete no prompt obsolete, and that means in the rmin it will be passing that input as a redirection input, and then it will be deleting it. Now I have completed writing the script completely. Now I will cat this script for your logging purposes so that you have this complete script on the screen. Now I am testing this script. Sorry, chmod +x rmin, and now if I say rmin.sh. So the first one is I wanted to list down all the backups. That's fine. I wanted to go and do it for the second database because that is what the database I brought it up. So the second one. So it is now showing you the list of backups. See, summary. Excellent. That's it. You don't need to do anything. You have now developed a very good script that will do all the jobs that you wanted. Now again, I'm running this script to take the full database backup. That is second option. Now it is asking to which database you wanted to connect and take the full database backup. That is second one, Aura CDB2. Now it has connected to the R1 of that particular database and it is taking the full level 0 database backup. So we'll have to just wait until this backup completes and then we will do this next option testing. What is the next option to test after the full backup? We will test incremental backup, then we will test archive log backup, and also we will also do cleaning up the backups. So we have completed, because we completed it very quick, as I have saved a lot of time in typing it off the session. So it will be the same if I type it on the session also, but because we have to save a lot of time, and for the storage checker tool itself, as you have seen that it will be taking a lot of time if I type that on the screen, but 1 hour is also a very good time, and that's the reason I'm trying to save all those things, efforts on the session, so that you can directly go and refer the scripts in case if you need some assistance as well. But I'm making sure that I'm explaining whatever is there in the script so that you don't miss any logic or the flow that I have defined or designed the script. Okay, so let me actually wait for a while and then we will see and we will continue the discussion after this. So as you see, backup is completed. That's the beauty. Now I'm again rerunning it. I'm saying incremental backup you have to take on the database called Aura CDB2. And now it is asking, see the beauty, whether you wanted cumulative incremental or differential incremental. If I say cumulative incremental, it should now go and take the cumulative incremental backup of this database based on the level 0 backup that you have taken earlier. Alright. Okay, so let us wait until this incremental backup completes and then we will go and verify and test the next option. So the incremental backup is also done. See the beauty? You don't need to do anything, you don't need to remember anything, you don't need to remember the process, nothing. Now I want to take archive log backups and clean it off. So fourth option for the second database, it is doing its job. It will be showing you all the archive log files. These are the archive log files that it is showing you. And now it has picked up the backup of all those archive log files, and after the backup, it will also delete them because the command itself that I have given is after you take the backup, delete them. Please remember, this is not only the way of writing scripts. It can be done in any fashion, but this is what I basically do to make my job little more easier. And there are many things that you can do using the script. Not only this, the hope of, all my idea of giving you 4 different tools is that you will be getting that ignition to basically write a script in later stages for any requirements that you see in your project. Okay, so anything can be achieved from the scripting. That's what I wanted to make you a note of. So now the archive logs is done. So the last one is cleaning up backups. So fifth one. So for the second database, yes, see, it is deleting all the obsolete backups that it has found. Done. So all my testing is done. The sixth option testing should also be done. 6, it has to quit. Perfect. So this is how I have successfully created a backups tool for you now. Now let us discuss about the next tool, that is refresh tool. So where is it? Yep. So we are into refresh tool. So I wanted to develop a tool that will be able to perform table refresh and also schema refresh on the local server itself. That means the tool is defined in such a way that it will expect that the source database and also destination database both are on the same server. If they are on remote servers also you can do, but you should be able to make use of SSH connectivity and SCP connectivities, SCP protocols and all. So the main tool that has to perform should be able to perform table refresh and schema refresh. And as I said it will be expecting the source and destination databases on the same server. So now I'm defining a logical flow for each and every option. So for the first option, it should ask source database name, schema name and table name, which it wanted to refresh, and it should verify if the details are correct or not. That means in this database whether the schema is existing and this table is existing is what it has to verify. And similarly, after verification is done, it has to now ask destination database name, schema name and table name, to which it has to perform the refresh, and then it has to verify all the details are correct. and then ask to which directory backup has to be taken, because we are going to use data pump export and data pump import for this refresh. So definitely you should ask the user to which directory it wants to create the backup. So after you ask the user what directory it is your duty to verify whether that directory is available on the operating system or not. Only after it is available, you have to go and create that logical directory inside the database, come back, take the backup of the table, and then perform the refresh onto the destination database. Very similarly, I have done the action for schema refresh also, but now to do these both, I should basically create a user and also create a table inside the schema, so that I will use both, those details for my refresh activities now. So let me do that. So SQL plus /s is DBA, and then I would say create user test identified by Oracle 123, and then grant connect comma resource to test, create table test.t1 c1 number, sorry, double parenthesis is not required. All right, yeah, now I'll be using this. Okay, now let me write the tool called refresh.sh. Okay, again we have to do the same thing. First tell shebang you have to declare, and then just trap the control C, so that anybody says control C, it doesn't basically quit. So sig int, and then you should say variable declaration, and then you should say function declarations, and then you should say what is this, main execution. Again, because this particular tool should have two options, again I should write a main menu. And what should be the main menu? With two options, right? So I have that in place. So let me show you that. The main menu is here for this. So where is the main menu? Yeah, this is the one. This is a function which is main menu, and this will now show, let me show you what is that it can do. So it has got three options in it. One, table refresh, second, schema refresh, third is to quit. And basically it will, as soon as somebody selects table refresh, it will first go and call the function called refresh_tab. If somebody selects schema refresh, it will go and pick up the function called schema refresh_schema. That's it. So let us begin with refresh_tab first, and then we will go to refresh_schema. So the first function that I have to create after this is refresh_tab. So what is refresh_tab? Let me show you that. It will be on the top because that's where it has to come from. Yeah. So in this refresh_tab, as you see on the screen, I have made this particular tab as the very big one. And why is it? I'll show you. So this is a function that will basically perform the refresh. So what is that I'm doing from the beginning? See here. First, I'm listing down the number of databases available in the on this server, and then I'm asking the user, what is your source database? Give the name of the source database completely. After you give the database name, give the schema name, and then give the table name. I should set the environment variables of the source database as soon as somebody gives me this. That means I have to first create listDB function, set environment function, and now after this I'm also creating another function to verify whether schema table is existing in this database or not. That means I have to create three functions now. So let me create these three, and then we will come back to discuss. So here, where are those three? Let me show you. Yeah, verify, and then yeah, this is the one. So these are the three. So let me actually explain you these three, what does it do, and then we will go ahead. So first function, listDB, will only list all the databases available on the server. Verify will pick up the schema name and table name and verify if the table is existing or not. So it will go and simply run a select statement on this database to basically go and check whether this table is existing. So the output of this select statement is redirected to this variable. Now I am verifying from this variable value whether there is anything with the name called aura hyphen. Why is this I am verifying? Because if there is any aura error, definitely the script should exit from that point of view, right? So that's the reason, as you see, if you see ORA error, then I'm saying double ampersand is nothing but if and else clause. So this is the condition. If this condition is true, then it will go and execute everything that you define in double ampersand in this flower braces. And after double ampersand, if you see double pipe, that means this is else. So this is if, this is else. So this is a very simple format of executing if else clause. So definitely give a condition directly. If the condition is true, it will execute whatever is given in double ampersand. If this condition is false, then it will go and execute everything that you given in double pipe. So as you see, if it sees any ORA errors, it will definitely go and say you details are incorrect and it will exit from that point of view. But in case if the result variable is empty, that means when will be the result variable empty? When this table or schema value does not exist. Correct or not? So if you give the correct schema name and the wrong table name, what will be the output of this select statement? Null, nothing. That means result value will be nothing. Now I am verifying the same thing. When result value is nothing, x nothing is equals to x. Correct? So when these two values are same, then again I am saying that details are incorrect. But in the else clause, if I don't see, if details are incorrect, I have to exit from here. But in case if I don't see x directly here, and if I don't see ORA error, that means my table details are valid. So that's what I'm trying to say here, that table details are valid with the help of two if clauses. But first if clause I have simply used double ampersand for if and double pipe for else. This is a very simple format of doing it. So I just wanted to show you a different way of doing an if else. So that's the reason I have shown you this one. Alright, so after verifying the details, this is what will be setting the environment variables and coming back to this refresh. So it will verify, and once if it is details are verified, then you will be asking same destination database name and destination schema name and destination table name also, and then again set the same destination database variables and also verify the same thing. Because when I believe that it's a refresh is something that happens when the same table is existing on the both source and destination databases, right? So that's the reason you should also verify destination things. After the verification of the destination details are also done, then you have to ask to which directory backup should be taken. Take the location and again check if the directory is existing. I'm directly saying -d followed by location. If the location is existing, that is a double ampersand, then just say location exists. But -d backup location, if this directory is not existing, then just say that directory does not exist and then exit from this tool completely. So now after this, what is that I'm doing? I'm setting up the environment variables of source, and then I'm creating a temporary directory inside the database with the location that you have given. And after I created the directory name inside the database, now I'm going and running expdp backup with the tables information about this one. So I think this is what is gone. So let me actually, so dd, and this is what it should be on the second line. So it should be here. So I should delete this one also. Yeah. So after the database backup, tables backup is completed, now I have to go and connect to the destination database. But before I connect to the destination database, because I created this temporary directory here, I am dropping that directory. So after dropping the temporary directory created in the source, then I am again setting up the environment variables of destination, again creating the same directory where the backups has been taken, and running an impdp here. So impdp, this one will happen. Now as you see, so I should say this should be in the same line, it has to continue. So I will say it has to go to the end of this line, right? And now I will delete this, right? So I'm showing that table exists action is equal to replace, and after the impdp is successfully done, then it will again go and drop the temporary directory that it is created here. So here it won't drop it because there is a typo here, so it should be this one. All right, that's it. So this is what happening for table refresh. Now come back to the second option called schema refresh. So that means I have to create schema refresh, this one, where is it? Function. So where is it? Yeah, verify schema refresh underscore schema. Again, It follows a very similar fashion, but little different. So let me explain that. Now as you see on the screen, so this is what it is doing. Again, let me show you from the beginning what is Schema Refresh does. So for Schema Refresh also, I should list down what are the databases available, and after that I should ask source database name, source schema name, then set the environment variables of the source database, verify the schema if it is existing or not. Now that means I should create a new verify schema function. That is, earlier list DB and set environment functions are already available, so I don't need to do that. But here, as you see, I have to now go and create the new function verify underscore schema. It is done little different again because table name is not included, right? Alright, as you see here, yes, again I'm verifying from DBA underscore users whatever you are trying to create, if it is already existing or not. And again I'm verifying if there is any error in this result, definitely say that details are incorrect. But if that is empty, that means details are incorrect. So I think this is what it is, but let me actually check if that is the same. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. So yes, details are incorrect if this is empty. Because if the schema is not existing, from where will you actually pick up the schema backup? So details are incorrect, but only when there is an output from this select statement, definitely that means that schema is existing. So it is a valid details. Alright, now come back. So after this, what is that I'm doing? Again I'm doing the same thing for the destination database. I'm taking the database name, taking the database as schema, and then setting the environment variables and verifying if the details are valid, and only if the details are valid I'll again take the location, and again I'll verify if the location is existing. Only when the location is existing it will go forward, else it will exit from that point of time, saying you that directory does not exist. And now again I have to set the environment variables of source, create a temporary directory, and then take the backup of the schema. Again there is a problem here, I have to correct this, so it has to be here and it has to be deleted, right? Again I have to drop the directory and very similarly create a temporary directory on the destination again, and then do an impdp with the same command, but you can also use remaps wherever possible. I'm simply creating a very simple one, but it doesn't mean that it will be the same everywhere. Okay, so please make a note of that always. And now again on the destination also I have to drop the directory which got created. That's it. That will complete the second option. Done. So now let me actually run this chmod plus x. Before I run, I will cat this one for your logging purposes. So this is the script that I created. Now if I say refresh.log, but before that I have to give permissions plus executable refresh.log, and now if I run this, alright. So do you want table refresh, schema refresh? So first thing I will verify is table refresh. So which database you wanted to go and see? It is ORACDB2. What is the schema name? It is test. What is the table name? It is T2. But I created a table called T1, but I wanted to verify if it will error out and come back or not. See, it definitely came out saying that your details are incorrect. That means because T2 is not existing, it has come out. See how beautiful it is. Table refresh, ORACDB2, test schema, now table T1. Because it is existing, now it is saying that valid details you have given, to which, what is your destination database now? I am trying to refresh to the same schema and to the same table, so please bear with that. So because again the destination database details are valid, it is asking you to which database it has to take the backup. Because the directory is also existing, it is saying you that location exists, and then it has created a logical directory inside the database also, and then it is starting expdb now. And the backup is basically being taken to /pdb data. Now I will show you literally whether these things are existing there or not. So Oracle and this one, and go to /pdb data, and if you see the backups are going, see, beautiful. So the table backup is going on. So this is how my script will be doing the job for me. I'll not be doing anything. Now because after saying this, because the destination is also given, now it will go to destination. On the source database, directory is dropped. On the destination, again new directory is created, and again IMPDP is being happening. Now you see that whether this is then, yes, beautiful. So EXPDP is done and IMPDP is going on. And again after the IMPDP is done, the directory, temporary directory which created inside the database is also dropped. This is how I was able to create one particular tool that will simplify my table refreshes every time. Now let me verify whether schema refresh will work fine. Yes, for Aura CDB2 it has to do. And then what will be the schema name for me? Test. Everything under test. What will be the destination? The same destination. And then destination schema is also the same. And the directory backups, backup should be taken to the same directory, PDB data. So it created the directory again. Now it is picking up schema backup. See if the schema backup dump is created. Yes, it is being created. So after the schema backup, it will be doing up its, it will be doing the import also on the destination database, because right at the beginning of the script itself, I picked up source database details and destination database details, and it also verified that. So it will be storing them in the variables inside the script, and it will be using it when it has to perform the import. So just export of the schema is running on at the moment, and then it has to perform the import. So let us wait for that. So as you see, the EXPDP is completed. It has dropped the directory on the source database, and it created the same directory location on the destination, and it started the IMPDP now. See, this is how it goes. And the directory is stopped. Schema refresh is also completed now. So everything is done. So come back to the document. What is the document I wanted? Schema refresh, refresh tool to perform table refresh and also schema refresh. Is it not done successfully now? That's the beauty of scripting. Probably you might be thinking that I have used a very limited number of steps and all, but the idea, as I keep telling you guys again and again, not to completely stuff you guys with lots and lots of steps and lots of options inside the script, but to give you an ignition where you can think about each and every step, whether it can be optimized or not at the later stages. Because right from the first day, I cannot expect, or you also know that you cannot write a very good optimized script. That's the reason I'm also being at your level, and then I'm trying to push you guys to the next higher level so that you can think on yourself whether you can write a very best optimized tools or not, which verifies each and every process that you follow inside the tool completely. So remember that. So we are now into the last one, that is user creation. Basically, why did I put down this tool is, if you have an application environment in such a way that you very often get the requirement of creating the users on the database with a very specific set of roles to be assigned, instead of you remembering the default password to give, or the number of roles that has to be assigned to that user every time, you can basically create a user creation tool that will go and connect to the database that you wanted to connect and ask for the user to create, verify if the user is existing or not. That is very important. If the user is already existing, it has to throw the error, right? If it is not existing, then create the user, assign the proper roles, and quit from the tool. This is what the logical flow completely. So this tool doesn't have any other options. It will directly go and do user creation job. Now let me create such tool now. So I would say user creation .sh. Again, as I said, you have to divide. First thing is shebang you have to give, and the next thing is trap control C. Why I'm saying trap control C, you might be trapping many things later if you have a very complex script as well. So sig int and then variable declaration and then function declaration and then main execution. So it starts executing from here. So again I should say main hyphen menu. Do we have any menu here? No, because there is no options at all. It should directly go and do the job that I wanted to perform. So that's where, if you see on the screen here, so let me open that script. So as you see here, so the main function itself will be doing the complete job. So as you see on the screen, main function itself is first of all doing what? It is listing out the databases that are available. That means I have to go and create this function, and once you select the database, it will go and set the environment variables. After setting up the environment variables, it will ask you what is the username to create. After it reads the username, it will go and verify if this user is existing on the database or not. And then only if the database is not existing, then it will prompt password. After it takes username and password, then it creates the user in the database and grants the roles that whatever is required to be assigned to that user. Simple or not? Because I have given little complex, functions and the tools earlier, I wanted to simplify at the end so that you feel relaxed. So there are three functions I have to create: list DB, set in environment variables, and verify. So I have them ready. So yes, these are the things. So verify, list DB, and where is set environment variables? Okay, I have to get it out. So let me copy this first and then paste it here. And because set environment variables is what I have to get, so I will be getting out with the another refresh where control find function set env. Function set environment variables up. Yeah, so it is here. So I'll paste it. Yeah, so I'm setting up the environment variables also. So as I said, this particular script is doing nothing. It will be directly going and verifying, setting up the environment variables, and then verify. What is that it is verifying? Select the username from DBA users, where username, whatever you pass. If the output of this particular statement should be empty, right? Only when the output is empty, that means user is not existing, I can go and create. That's the reason. See here, if there is any ORA error, definitely you should say user already exists. If there is no error, then you should say good to go, user does not exist. And I think I missed some logic here, so let me correct this verify function. Not just ORA error. For ORA error, you don't see that user exists. Instead, you should say as details are invalid, and then exit. Else you have to just say first if clause. So I have a wrong this one here, so that's the reason I'm writing out again x $result if it is equals to just x. That means that the user is not existing, then you can good to go. But in case else, then you should say echo user already exists. Okay, that's it. This is the best one, I should say. So I've corrected the logic as well, whatever I created earlier. Now let me run this script. So chmod plus x user creation, and before I run it, I'll cat it for your references. This is the one. Now I'm running user created. Now see which database you wanted to create. Second database. What is the username? I'm just verifying the username which is already existing. It should now error telling me out that user already exists. See? Excellent. Because test is the username which already created by us few minutes back. So that's the reason it should tell us that it already exists. Right? So now one thing that I missed again in this is after it says that user is already existing, it should basically exit from that point of view. It should not basically continue. So that's the reason I can see that there is some problem. So I have to say here exit, because it is already existing, it has to exit. So now let me actually cat it again for your purpose, and now I'm running it back. Now again I'm giving second one, I'm giving test, it should error and then exit. Earlier it did not exit, it continued to run the script. Now I'm creating actually non-existing user, verify if it is working fine or not. Now I should say test 1. What is it? See, good to go, user does not exist. Now what is the password for this? I just say Oracle 123. Now user is created, all the grants whatever you wanted has been granted. So your life is making very simplified. You don't need to remember what are the list of roles that you have to basically assign whenever you create a user on Aura CDB2. If you have such environment, definitely this will be one of the useful process that you can adopt. And as I keep telling you guys, tools and scripts are very much helpful when you have a set of recursive tasks to be done, not for the regular tasks. So if there is a task which you perform once in a year or twice in a year, definitely I don't, basically recommend you to write a script for that activity. But instead, if you have an activity that you are performing twice or thrice every day, then that definitely makes sense to see if you can simplify that and complete that quicker with the help of scripts like this. So that's it, guys. We have completed successfully the course, that is DBA shell scripting for DBAs, where I feel that you must have gained a lot of confidence in doing it. So this is the summary page. I wanted to thank you all. It's my mission to actually keep you or make you guys successful professionals as DBA. And please do refer if somebody is looking out for such training from your friends or colleagues or somewhere. And please do write it to me, kumar@orskill.com, or you can WhatsApp me for any queries that you get. And I really appreciate your feedback in the course content or in the way that I have been explaining, or it can be anything that you have in your mind. If you have any feedback on this particular course, please drop an email to admin@orskill.com. And to keep you guys updated with all my latest blogs and all on Oracle Database Administration, please subscribe with your email addresses in www.orskill.com if you have not. And then I also have a habit of publishing public videos where for every blog I have a good, for every video I basically do a video, for every blog I basically do a video also. So you can follow my blog here. So in Orskill Academy is the channel name, and you can subscribe there. And please follow us on the LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is one of the communities which I believe that is having a very strong professional knowledge that you can share in and out. And Orskill, definitely it's very easy for you to access on the mobile. So follow us on the Twitter and then Facebook. So why I am asking you guys to be in touch with all these 4 to 5 different things is, in either of one of these, you might not be looking at your emails, but in case if you're looking at your LinkedIn, you should be able to view what is going on in Orskill. Very similarly, in case if you missed what is in LinkedIn, if you're in Twitter, definitely you will be knowing what is going on in Orskill. So I wanted you guys, I wanted myself to keep in sync with you guys always. So that's the reason. Please do all these things, and then happy learning. And I hope this scripting skills are very, very important for the Oracle DBA, and this course has been very much helpful for you. And last but not the least, please keep practicing whatever we have discussed so far in this course. That will help you to actually gain or become like, if I have something in the mind, I'm just going and typing everything without having a small syntax error also. But for you, coming to that stage might be taking little good time, but I wish you have to attain that speed. Okay. Thank you guys. Happy learning. Bye bye.